So why did I decide to ditch 2 high-paying jobs and take the risk of building my own business starting completely from scratch? So hey folks, my name is Mark and we help entrepreneurs to grow and build a lucrative 6-figure lifestyle business with proven systems and mentorship. So today I'll be sharing with you why I left 2 lucrative high-paying jobs in 7-figure companies, but more importantly share with you my framework, right, of asking these 2 questions. Number 1, how do you know when something in your business or career is off in the first place? And number 2, how do you make the important decisions that will shape the direction of your life, even if you're feeling afraid or fearful? So while they weren't easy decisions to make, making them has helped me to move forward towards living my dream life, whether it comes to making more money, living with more flexibility and freedom, and more importantly, doing what I really enjoy every single day. And I hope through my experiences, you're able to learn from it as well in your own life. And so today I'll share with you, number 1, right, what made me even consider quitting my job in the first place. Number 2, the exact framework I used to finally make my decision, right, to quit the job. Number 3, how I overcame the fear, anxiety, right, and self-doubt of quitting my job to start my own business in the first place. And lastly, the final lessons and takeaways from my entire experience that anyone can apply in their lives. The first lesson: what made me even consider quitting my job in the first place? And so to add some context, I joined a multiple 7-figure investment education company back in 2019. I was a digital marketer there after becoming the #1 affiliate for Tony Robbins, as I really enjoyed the space there. And as a disclaimer, I really enjoyed my experience over there. Until today, I still find it was one of the best decisions of my life, and money aside, I was working with amazing growth-driven people, which inspired me to constantly think bigger. And besides marketing alone, I had many different opportunities to improve my speaking, training, my coaching, and better yet, I could actually use, right, that momentum, right, to interview many amazing leaders and entrepreneurs in the industry through my interview show as well. And so yes, even today, I'm so grateful for the experience, my bosses, my managers, people I've worked with, right, and all my colleagues there for giving the opportunity to work in that great company in the first place. And so why did I even consider quitting? To be honest, I probably would have quit if not for being approached for my second role, where I'd be actually the chief marketing officer for a small startup, which was also in the education space. And they were primarily focused on investments and also promoting other companies, businesses, products and services. Money aside, since I'll be the head of marketing there, I actually took the jump to just explore how far I can go. So while things went well for a few months after I joined and the company was doing well, I realized a couple of things. While business was extremely fast-paced and exciting, it was pretty difficult for me to keep up. This is especially because I realized that, simply put, at that point of time, as difficult as it was to admit, I still had lots to grow and learn to help the company to scale to multiple 7 figures, right? I still wasn't at that level yet. And so I was constantly trying to play catch up and do whatever it took to grow. Sleepless nights, which leads to lots of stress and anxiousness, and I was pretty close to burnout at that point of time. But the thing is, I have been completely fine continuing to grow, to learn, to do my best, and developing myself, except for one thing. I wasn't really enjoying digital marketing anymore. So while I did enjoy learning, right, about new skills, right, like copywriting, running ads, building funnels, I realized that I wasn't feeling very fulfilled or enjoying myself anymore. So at the end of the day, what I realized, what I really enjoyed was coaching, was speaking, and not simply to just market and sell, right, all the time, but to actually create valuable content to help others, like what I'm doing right now. And so this sparked the idea for me to quit my second job in the first place. And so this is the framework I used to finally decide to quit my job. Because yes, despite the above, right, it wasn't the easiest decision to do so. And it was only after this exercise that I finally did it, right, that allowed me to say, okay, right, I think it's time for me to quit my role. And this is also what I personally use when coaching my clients and even my close personal friends, whether they're considering to make a major switch in their career or their business. What I did first was to start thinking and ranking my priorities in my career using these 5 factors: fixed income, variable income, scope, job scope, growth and learning, and environment. So let's go through them in detail. So the first one, fixed income, right, is simply about the income you wish to make each month securely without fail, right? So this is something that you get every single month, right, no matter how well, right, or not how crappy, hopefully not too crappy, right, in your job. Variable income means that, okay, you rather focus on making potentially unlimited income, whether it's through paying by performance or by sales, but you'll be willing to take the risk of maybe having lower income, right, in certain months as well. For example, a salesperson will definitely prioritize variable income way more than fixed income. But for example, if let's say you're a parent, right, with lots of bills to pay, a lot of commitments, and you have little confidence that your business will take off, right, when you quit in the first place, you might be better sticking with a job and perhaps doing a side hustle, which many of my clients do as well. The third factor is what we call growth and learning, which is basically you want to learn, you want to grow, whether it's personal self-development, professional development, right? Just in terms of skills, knowledge, exposure. Job scope is actually doing what you actually want in terms of actual activities, right? They actually want in the first place. So for example, when I joined my first company, I wanted to actually be a coach, right, or speaker, but because they didn't have any roles, except, right, for one, there's digital marketing, I decided to go for it still. At that point of time, even though I didn't love digital marketing, right, I was willing to go through, right, that role because I wanted to just put that one foot into the door, right, of potentially learning, of growing, exposing myself, and it was an environment that I would really enjoy at that point of time. And so the last factor is what I call environment, and so this is what I call people, location, right? Whether you're working flexible, whether the hours are something that you like, whether you have to travel a lot. And so when I quit my first role around 2020, my priority, right, was actually growth and learning because I wanted to expose myself, pick up new skills. Right? For my second role, I started to prioritize job scope and environment instead, right? And I wanted to start doing something I actually enjoy and believe in strongly. And so at the point of time, it was not simply to help people with investments or just by being a digital marketer, but to help the many people out there who was overwhelmed, burnt out, and tired, right, of wasting thousands of dollars on courses, programs, and workshops and seminars, but had little results to show from it. And that was what I was extremely passionate about, rather than just selling more programs, right, that other people could do as well. And so since I observed from experience that the answer to success is usually implementation instead of more information, I wanted to help more people truly understand this. And so since I've accumulated some cash flow due to 2020, whether it's because of the stock market rise or becoming number one affiliate for Tony Robbins, I was more than willing to take the risk of starting my own business at a point of time. And so this brings me to my second lesson, right? Even though I kind of made that decision to quit my job, I was still very afraid, right? Because I spent countless nights thinking about it and feeling lost. I had a lot of fear, anxiety, and nervousness about taking the jump, especially when it came to starting my business. So what if I failed, right? What if I didn't do well, right? What if I made the wrong decision? And so that's where I came across this TED Talk by the legendary author of the book 4 Hour Week, Tim Ferriss, and he uses this thing called the fear setting exercise. This is what is known as a checklist template to use whenever you're struggling to make a major decision that you might be feeling fearful or afraid to make. Simply to do these 3 big steps. So the first step is to first create a table with 3 columns and label each of the following, right? Number 1 is define. So define just simply means to list the doubts, the worst case scenarios, the problems that might arise from any decision. In my case, it could be that the second job maybe didn't work out, my business would fail, right? I'll lose my money, right? So on and so forth. Second column, right, is what we call prevent, which is to simply list down as many ideas as you can think of to prevent the worst case scenario from happening. So for example, for me, right, it could be to invest in a mentor, right, which I did, right, to get personal feedback and support, right, following a system that's already been proven, right? Or it could be to, for example, start by getting some beta clients for my business in the first place, or even having some emergency funds so I can actually last or actually grow my business, right, for a long time. So the last column is repair, right, which is to list down all the ideas I can take to repair the damage if my worst case scenario came true. So this could mean going back to my old job or driving Grab as a worst case, right, or right, just having the emergency funds to tide me through. So I do have to be too afraid to quit my job or to actually leave my business if that happened. And so the next step is to think through the benefits of taking action. And for this, to simply list down as many potential benefits of complete success, partial success, or even just attempting to take action. So for example, by starting out as an entrepreneur, it will mean developing my skills and knowledge to be a whole new level. And hey, even if I realized I hated it, lost my business or my job, at least I knew from a young age, like, rather than regretting it, right, I'm able to learn from the mistake so that in the future I don't make them anymore. So you also, at the same time, you also want to rate each of the benefit you list down from a scale of 1 to 10 to get even clearer during this exercise as well. And so stage number 3, right, which is to simply list down the consequences of not taking action. So you can define this into 3 periods: 6 months, 1 year, or 3 years. I actually do it for 10, 20 years as well. Right, so for example, at 6 months, the consequences of me not doing to the new job, not doing my own business, is maybe just I don't feel like I'm growing anymore. Right, at 1 year, right, I might just be constantly asking myself whether I should have taken the risk, right? Or at 3 years' time, I might not have been as fulfilled or as happy as I could. Instead of promoting a movement and a message that I believe so strongly in. And 10, 20, 30 years, right, the only thing I can look at, right, is should I have taken a risk? Right? Or I might feel a bit of regret, right, if I actually don't take action. And so by using this framework and talking to a few trusted friends, right, what I realized, right, is that I was able to manage a lot of my fears, my insecurities, my self-doubts, being clearer with my decision in the first place. And because of that, I decided to make the jump. Here's my final lesson and takeaway from this. So I'm not saying that if you're feeling unhappy, right, and frustrated with your job right now, no way am I saying you've got to quit your job, right? Rather, right, to simply just feel frustrated, unhappy, or complaining or whining all about it. But the problem I realized is that most people don't spend much time to think through about what they want in the first place, or even about potential decision. But something I learned for a long time is that if we aren't clear, right, of something, our brain always goes back to what I call the worst case scenario. They're always thinking that the worst will happen because the brain simply wants us to survive and not to thrive. And so when we look to get clearer about the consequences and potential outcomes of our choices, it allows us to be more grounded, objective, and allows us to make a way better decision as well. And so, of course, getting feedback and inputs from others like your mentors, your friends, the people around you will help you a lot also. Because whatever you choose, right, you know why you make a decision and you get to feel good and happy about it. And thanks to the above, not only am I making more money now, I have way more freedom, way more flexibility, and doing what I truly believe in and enjoy in my life. Most importantly, whatever happens, I'm happy with how I live my life. And so, I really hope you found value from this video, right? Please like it if you did, or simply share with me your thoughts so I can continue to create way better videos too, right? See you, right? And all the best.